What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zcash today, ZEC USD. It is the 14th day of December, and here we are sitting at just about $400 with 8 hours and 58 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. We are dropping about 9% on the day so far, and that's okay. It's okay that we're dropping. I wouldn't say that at this point we've relinquished the idea that we move higher. It would be unlikely at this point, statistically speaking, that we do go below this low. I do still anticipate, however, that we will inevitably get below this low. We are forecasting for prices that go below $200 inevitably. However, I am first expecting that we go up to this golden ratio zone. Now, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. It's inevitable. If we do close below the 236, if a daily closes below the 236, which is roughly at $376, $375, let's see what the actual number is there. Is it 372? 373. If we close below $373, then at that point we are assuming that we go lower. And this whole range over the past week has really just been a mind F. You know, it's just been a giant psyop, and that's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with assuming here that we're going to go up to the golden ratio and then assuming here that we're going to go down, right? There's nothing wrong with being wrong this amount of time, right? We're not going to be wrong for the whole move down. And again, overall, what I'm expecting right now is that we will move up to the golden ratio and then we will move down. Or potentially find support and then move higher. You know, something like that could happen as well. It's somewhat common, and we've seen this happen actually a lot with crypto recently, over the past year specifically, where a lot of cryptos have gone up to their 0.5, they come down to their 236 to find support, and then they move up. And that's why closing below the 236 is so important, because if you don't close below there, you will bounce. If you do, then you will go lower. And I do expect that we have unfinished business to the golden ratio up here, to this $526, $562 level, something up here. So in that sense, you know, going from the 0.5 to the 236 and then up to the golden ratio, we've seen this happen plenty of times this cycle. Plenty of times happened this year across the board with various different cryptos. So that is the call right now. I think that unless we turn around here and just move up, but I do assume that we're going to move up to 526 to 562, somewhere around there, until we close days below 573. I maintain that stance, right? And here we are. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame here. We'll zoom out from there. 1 hour time frame, you are building some volume. Volume is picking up as you're dropping, so it's definitely bearish. Looking at this here, even on the weekend, even on a Sunday, that's decent volume. The RSI is as low as it typically gets. It's not that it can't go lower, it absolutely can, but you typically don't go too much lower than this. Again, we have seen you go lower, but just from where you are right here, right at that point there, we don't typically go too much lower than this. And in fact, most of the time you actually find support above this level here, let alone like with a double bottom. You know, I would equate this, I would compare this maybe to this exact area here, maybe to this area here, not the whole area necessarily, but just the secondary low. This is your secondary low here. Can you go lower? Sure, but you're probably going to find support soon. Does that not mean that you can't go lower after finding support? Absolutely you can, but I think that you will find support soon. I think that you move up higher, being this oversold. Stochastics look reset, and they are bearish, but you're looking like you want to cross up here, and the MACD's building bearish momentum. There's not a whole lot of bullish things going on the 1 hour time frame, but that's okay. 4 hour time frame, we take the low here from the second day. Nope. I thought that was the second day of December. The third day of December. From a low to a high, we're bouncing back at the 382. This is actually a perfect area to find support. Right there, $400 psychological support. We went below $400, making people capitulate. You know, some people think, you know, here at 411 we're fine, but if we go to 396, this thing's trash. It's going to zero. Sometimes that shift between you know, being above 400, or that shift of being above 400 to going below 400, that can make people capitulate there. It's just, we're human beings. We like to establish patterns and things that make sense to us. Some people just like instinctively might think, you know what, I'm going to make a deal with myself. If it goes below 400, I'm out. But if it stays above 400, I'm in. So that's actually very common with these psychological areas of significance, and that's why we prod, we hit some stop losses, and then we move up. That's probably what's going to happen. This 382 bounce is powerful, and closing back above $427, 427 on a 4-hour time frame, or let's say 2 4-hour time frames in a row to close above 427 would validate that this is the low. We could go lower and still come higher, right? Again, I think the overall, what's the overall, the 236? It's 490, it was 372, that's right, 372. I suppose we could go even a little bit below there, but I don't know. I guess the golden ratio would be out here, so we wouldn't want to go. If we go to the golden ratio, that could be problematic. We could wick down there and then close above. That's fine. Maybe we find support at the 0.5, where here we found resistance at the 0.5. I don't know. 4-hour time frame. Looking at the indicators, we do have higher lows in the price. Technically, we do have lower lows in the RSI, and we're at the oversold zone. Right, hidden bullish divergence is what that is. Stochastics are reset, and the MACD is reset. The RSI is reset. All of these indicators and the price action itself tells me that you want to go higher. You know, on the 1-hour time frame, you're getting these little spots of volume as you're pressing down, but if we're looking at it on a 4-hour time frame, really, there's just no volume at all. Even here, even as you're moving down, you're not getting any volume. You're actually sub-average volume here on this push down, going right into areas of support, and resistance, which could be provided as support now. Prior support back here. I think we're finding support here, guys, and we're moving up. Yeah. Those higher targets above 500, they're still on, and if anything, it's just a better time now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but for a short-term play, $400 here, I think this is a great time to buy. Right? And I haven't said that at all since we've been bullish on it. I'm not even bullish on Zcash, just momentarily up to the golden ratio, and then we'll see from there if we do go lower. If this is an ABC correction overall, we'll see. But the ultimate goal is probably 524 to 560, 525, 560, somewhere in that area there. That's likely where we're going to go. And then from there we can reevaluate. But I don't have really anything else I want to say. I think that's about it. Daily stochastics rejecting a little bit. You're still bullish overall. MACD crossing green, which is nice. RSI is a bit in trouble, but you've hit the oversold zone. I mean, you could build from here and then still come down lower. You know, I think that you look fine overall. Kind of a neutral posturing in the RSI, a somewhat bearish posturing here, but you're up here in this bullish area of control. Typically, you do well when you're up here. And the MACD, oh,